Stock shocks, usually way too soft. A lot of aftermarket shocks, way too stiff for the average person. But Eibach shocks, they usually give that just right feel most people are looking for. My man Steve said it best when he called them Goldilocks shocks, but bears don't eat porridge. Goldilocks probably wasn't old enough to drive, and Eibach doesn't just make one kind of shock. So today, we're going to be going over the different stages of Eibach suspension systems to help you guys find the right one for you. As always, I'm Sean Bowman. This is the Shock Surplus Shop, so let's talk some shocks. We've actually tested everything in the Eibach Pro-Truck catalog on our own vehicles, so pretty much everything we're talking about here is coming from personal experience. And most of that experience has been documented. We have reviews on most of those kits up on our channel, so if you want more detailed information on a particular kit or more vehicle-specific data on a particular setup, make sure to check out those videos. But I say most because our full review on the production Stage 3R kit on our F-150 ain't up yet. Testing is still afoot, so make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon so you stay up to date and you don't miss that video, because a lot of you guys have been waiting on that for sure. Now, we've been pretty upfront about the fact that we helped Eibach on the tail end of development on those 2.5-inch body Stage 3R kits. So if you're interested to see how that development, how that testing went, that video is up on our channel as well, so make sure you check that out. Believe it or not, though, there's tons of people who still don't know the Eibach name, although there's a far less than zero chance they have experience with their parts. So let's talk a little bit about who the heck Eibach is. Eibach has to be the #1 spring supplier in the whole world. They're the choice of racers of all flavors, and they are actually the manufacturer of springs for a lot of different companies with their in-house coilovers. If you have a set of Fox, Kings, and even some Bilstein coilovers, there's almost 100% chance you're running Eibach springs. Now, they're obviously known first for their springs, but they've been making shocks for a long time. The thing is, up until a few years ago, they were private labeling them under other brands. They finally picked up that Eibach name, and well, we've been happy to run their shocks ever since. Eibach makes springs, sway bars, and even dampers for a wide variety of applications, from performance cars to UTVs, but today we'll be specifically talking about their Pro-Truck lift systems designed to lift or level your truck or SUVs. Got it? Good, let's get to the good stuff. As you guys can probably tell, we're big fans of Eibach, from the parts to even the people. But as with most brands, their entry-level or more budget-conscious systems are usually a little hit or miss. The Stage 1 Pro-Truck lift systems include at least a set of front coil springs, if not rears as well, on vehicles that have coil springs in the rear, as well as their Pro-Truck Sport shocks and or struts. These are a 2-inch body monotube, and, well, their tuning is pretty solid. If you have a vehicle with independent springs and shocks, we're talking about Jeeps, Ford Super Duties, Ram HDs, and the like. They're a really good entry-level option that is very OEM plus in feel, giving you that nice cushy feel the stock stuff did, with a little bit of extra oomph for a little bit more off-road use, although you do gotta kind of keep it a little mild because they're 2-inch body shocks, as well as a little bit more stability when under a load. Really, if you're, just cruising to an unpaved job site, just looking to do some light exploring, light overlanding without a lot of weight, a lot of big tires, or you're just looking to lift or level your daily driver, super solid choice. It's when you get to the applications that use coilover struts from the factory and need to use their Pro-Truck Sport leveling struts where things can be more miss than hit. The Pro-Truck Sport leveling strut is a ride height adjustable strut similar to a Bilstein 5100, where you can use your stock spring and gain some ride height by moving the spring seat or circlet position. To make the Stage 1 lift systems a little bit more appealing, they include a spring that often does more lift than you can do with just the Pro-Truck Sport leveling strut on its own, which sounds cool, but is kind of fraught with issues, namely being because that Pro-Truck Sport has to both work at stock height with the stock spring. They're ultimately limited with how long they can be and how much travel they can have. Because that spring does all the lift and you're not using the spring seat with the stock spring to add preload and give you the lift, you have no ability to run any less. So, with very similar amounts of travel to stock and extending the strut a little further than it should, you're usually in for a pretty darn harsh ride. They top out a lot, and despite the tuning being really good on the Pro-Truck Sports, they just don't have the travel to run the lift heights Eibach sets you up with. A perfect example is our 3rd generation Tundra, which came with the TRD off-road Bilsteins. Those Pro-Truck Sports were no longer than those stock Bilsteins in the front, but gave us 2.6 inches of lift at the bare minimum. This means we had 2.6 inches less drip travel than stock, and they topped out all the time. In fact, I couldn't believe how well it was handling and how little body roll it had. It's because it was running out of travel whenever you tried to turn the steering wheel. This made for an exceptionally harsh ride, but there are still some benefits to the Pro-Truck Sport. One of those namely being you can still use those additional circuit settings to offset additional constant loads. So it is a system that can grow with you as your rig increases in weight, as you add a bumper, winch, skid plates, and stuff like that. You can go up a circuit setting and keep that lift height. Although, like I said, we think it's too much. I think for the average person, the better choice here would be to run the Pro-Truck Sports with your stock springs in the front. And if there's the option to run an Eibach spring in the rear, well, just run those rear springs, and I think you'll be a lot happier. Now, in terms of tuning on the Pro-Truck Sports, we like to say they're a nice little middle ground between the Fox 2.0 and the Bilstein 5100, offering a little bit more composed feel than the Fox, as well as a longer service life, but a little bit more comfort than the Bilstein. So if you skip the springs, keep lift a little bit lower, they can still give you a pretty decent ride. That said, like I've been saying, I just don't think these Stage 1 kits are the move, but the next kit we'll be talking about definitely is. As you've probably guessed with these entry to mid-level systems, if you're trying to gain a little bit more lift, you need to have the travel to do it because these smaller 2-inch body shocks really need all the help they can get to control the suspension. And well, that's why the Stage 2 is more worthwhile over the Stage 1. The big difference here is you get their 2.0 2-inch body, coilovers in the front instead of the Pro-Truck Sport leveling struts, but you still get the same Pro-Truck Sport shocks in the rear if you have a vehicle that doesn't have coilovers in the rear, like a Bronco or something like that. Now, the fact that they could design the coilover from the ground up with the spring, the damper, and everything like that means they can generally offer more travel. Going back to our Tundra as an example, the Eibach Stage 2 kit, the 2.0 coilovers were able to give us an inch more travel than stock, versus the no more travel than stock with the Pro-Truck Sports or Stage 1 kit. Not only that, they have much greater range of adjustment for ride height. Not only can they go taller, which is not necessarily something we usually recommend, but they can go lower, which is a big deal for us. Ultimately, if we're using our Tundra as an example, we ended up settling it more like 2 inches of lift, which means we only saw a 1-inch reduction in droop travel, which means it still topped out more than we'd like, but it was way more comfortable, way easier to live with than the Stage 1 kit. So whether you're trying to keep Stage 1 kit height or you would like to be able to go lower, you will have a much better ride because the suspension has the travel to actually work, unlike the Stage 1 kits. Now, one of the things that we really love about Eibach is they are not married to one valving profile, one valving style. They'll use linear valving or digressive valving as they see fit to give the optimal performance for a particular vehicle, which is a lot of the reason why they can get that just right feel down the middle on a lot of applications, where the Pro-Truck Sports used in the Stage 1 systems are all digressive because of the limitations of the stock springs that they have to work with. Well, the Stage 2 kits often can use linear valving or will still use digressive valving when need be. Ultimately, what we're saying here is they are just that little bit more optimized in terms of tuning, which makes them a lot more comfortable. Now, going back to that adjustment, being a true coilover, they are a threaded body. They're also a steel threaded body, and they put slip washers under their springs, which means you don't need a spring compressor to change ride height. where you would have needed a spring compressor even to assemble the stage 1 kit, and certainly if you wanted to adjust ride height, something we don't recommend on those. You don't need it on these. In fact, you can make adjustments with the included spanner wrench after install. Just want to have the vehicle on jack stands and not have load on the suspension. Even if you are strong enough to lift the whole weight of the vehicle by the spanner wrench, that spanner wrench ain't. But ultimately, like I've been saying, all these factors come together for these being probably the best choice for the average person. There's still a 2-inch body shock in the front, and you still have the Pro-Truck Sports in the back, which means, you're not going to be wheeling it hard, you're not going to be overloading it, you're not going to want to run much more than a 33 or 34-inch tire, you're not going to want to be churning long distances off-road, and you certainly don't want to go fast off-road. But like I said, for leveling your daily driver, for light off-road use, just getting your feet wet, not doing anything crazy, or you just want something that looks cool, brother, they're a great option, and, well, they end up riding better than stock. But technically, there's another stage 2 kit in the lineup, although I'm not sure it's one you guys want. Now, next up in the lineup, you have the Stage 2R kits. You get the same 2.0 coilovers in the front, but those venerable PTS rear shocks get switched out for the Pro-Truck reservoirs. The thing most people are going to notice, if they notice anything at all, is that they get a little bit better small bump compliance and a little bit better big bump support out of the reservoir shocks. Most PTR shocks go to linear valving because they assume you're going to be spending more time off-road, whereas most Pro-Truck Sport rear shocks end up with digressive valving because they want to give you a do-it-all type tune. But I'm gonna be real with y'all. The only applications where we've even been able to feel any difference are like Forerunners and Rangers. And I can tell you right now, the difference in feel does not make up for the difference in price. And on other applications, particularly full-size trucks like our F-150, the Tundra, we couldn't notice a single difference at all. We've also found that if you think you need a reservoir in the back, you need a lot more than a 2.0 coilover in the front. A while back, we tested the Eibach Stage 2R kit against a set of Bilstein 6112s and 5160s on nearly identical F-150s. We put them on a hot lap to see how they would survive more serious off-road use. And at the end of the run, the Eibach reservoir rear shocks were hot, but immediately cooled down to ambient temperatures. But the front coilovers were blown up, brother. They were tossed, completely popped. By comparison, the 6112s, which have a much larger 2.6-inch body in the front, were definitely hot, had definitely faded, but quickly recovered just like the Reservoir 5160 and Pro-Truck reservoir rear shocks. Basically proving our point that cooling the rear doesn't matter if you're going to blow up the front coilovers before the rear shocks get hot enough to matter. So this is why we say for the average person, the Stage 2 kit is definitely the right way to go. And if you think you need the Stage 2R kit, the reality is, well, you probably need to go to Stage 3R. Now, the Stage 3R system takes a 2.5-inch body non-reservoir coilover in the front and a reservoir 2.5-inch body shock in the rear. You're kind of seeing this theme here where Eibach puts a non-reservoir in the front and a reservoir in the back, but in this case, it actually comes with benefits. Without getting too deep into it, monotube-based shocks like these need to have room for the nitrogen chamber in the IFP. That takes up room in the main body if you don't have a reservoir. And 2.5-inch body shocks not only displace more oil because they have larger pistons, but they displace more oil because they have larger shafts too, which means they need more room to push that IFP and move that nitrogen charge within the system. By running the reservoir, it just allowed Eibach to be able to have the travel that they were looking to get out of the rear end. In fact, one of the things they changed during the development process of the F-150s is give us a little bit more travel in the rear, something we love them for. So, although yes, we would like to see more cooling in the front, the rear reservoir has its purpose, and ultimately with a 2.5-inch body shock in the front, well, most people who should be looking at these shocks probably don't have to worry too much about fade. Now, we're still in the testing process, so we don't call this our final thoughts on the product, but we are very happy with how they perform. If you were to compare them for their closest competitor, which would be a Bilstein 6112 in the front and an 8100 in the back, they offer very similar handling, very similar big bump support with a little bit more small bump compliance, which is what most people are looking for. For a long time at this price point, people were just living with the harshness of the Bilstein because there really wasn't anything else at anywhere close to the price point. And although most people were running 6112s in the front and 8100s in the back, they probably had a 5160. I still think this is going to be a viable package because, well, they do sacrifice a little bounciness in some areas at certain speeds, but they take away that harshness most people hate from Bilsteins. Now let's talk about why you need a 2.5-inch body shock. 2.0s just aren't going to cut it for serious off-road driving. The Stage 2, Stage 2R doesn't matter. You're going to run into issues with a lack of support, a lack of the parts being consistent and fading quickly, a lack of keeping the big tires on the ground, a lack of a lot of things. So by bumping up to that larger body, you get more damping force potential, you get more big bump support, and this is going to be something that can actually work for serious trail use. The coolest thing about new vehicles is that you can fit a lot more tire than you used to be able to, especially if you have a Toyota. Tires are weight that your springs and your suspension aren't holding up. We call that unsprung mass. And when you hit a bump, your shock, strut, springs, everything has to keep that tire on the ground, keep the cab of the vehicle from getting upset, and then push it back to the ground without getting into a dribble. We have been overtired and undershocked on basically every Eibach setup we have until the Stage 3Rs. I had 37 by 1350s on my Bronco, and it dribbled so bad going down the highway. The steering would go light, and I had to lock it into four-wheel drive to be able to keep up with a stock Bronco on 35s. Our Tundra didn't have the same issue with dribble that our Bronco and even the F-150 had on 35s, but they just could not control that unsprung mass and forced even harsher and more frequent top outs, which is why we say if you're going to run larger than a 33 or 34-inch tire, these are for you, even if you're not wheeling it hard, because they feel so much better everywhere. When you don't have enough shock for the amount of tires you have, the tire doesn't want to stay on the ground, and I could tell you right now, to stop, steer, or go, your tire's got to be touching, so it's kind of important. I think even if you're not wheeling it all the time, if you have heavy loads, heavy tires, or anything like that, these are absolutely the way to go. And like I said, they give you a similar amount of support to a Bilstein setup without as much sacrifices and comfort, just a little extra bounciness at certain speeds, and you just kind of drive around that. We're also predicting they're going to have a similar service life to the Bilsteins, just like the rest of Eibach's products, which means you can have something just like the Bilsteins last a long time and parties for a long time. They also use a steel body that they zinc plate and then Cerakote over the top, so corrosion is never going to be a concern. Basically, if you have legitimate needs for your vehicle, if you're a real off-road enthusiast, you're doing a lot of towing or hauling, or even if you're a mall crawler with really big tires, these are absolutely for you. But we've been doing a lot of yapping about a lot of different things, so let's do a quick little recap. Starting off with Stage 1 kits, if you have a separate shock and spring setup, particularly a solid axle rig like a Jeep, F250 or 350, a Ram 2500, 3500, they're a great option. Don't go over a 34-inch tall tire. Maybe 35s you can push on some applications. You'll be in good shape. They're not for serious wheeling, but you can definitely get your feet wet, do some light trails, and if you're looking for a good look on your daily driver, they're a great option. If you have a vehicle that has coilover struts from the factory, which is much more likely because there's a lot more of those out there, Stage 1 isn't really worth it. Take it up to Stage 2, and everything I said about the Stage 1 for the solid axle separate coil and shock setups is gonna be true. They're gonna be great on the street, more comfortable in the areas where the stock stuff falls short, more stable in the areas where the stock stuff falls short, but at least as good in the areas where the stock stuff did really well. They're OEM plus in all the right ways. They make adjustment for ride height super easy. They give you a little bit of extra travel so they don't punish you for having a ton of lift like the Stage 1 kits do. And, well, they last a long time, so they're hard to beat. But if you have serious off-road needs, you have serious tire needs, you have serious load needs, like I've been saying, Stage 3 is the way to go. But we'll leave it up to you guys in the comments. What Eibach kit do you have your eye on? And, well, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and the bell icon so you stay up to date on all the stuff we're doing next, because one of those things is the Eibach Stage 3R review. I know you guys have been asking a lot for. Otherwise, if you're interested in these Eibachs for whatever you're whipping, or really whatever shocks you want to look at, Make sure to head on over to shocksurplus.com. When it comes to suspension, we're your one-stop shop. And in the meantime, we'll see you out on the trails.